Samuel Leeds here, and in this video we wanted to look at the question, are HMO properties oversaturated? Now right now I'm on vacation, as you can kind of see, and I haven't got a single room empty, which is amazing. However, this isn't really about me and about my portfolio, so I decided to interview a guy called Neil Brown, who's just bought and is just buying some HMOs up north, and we can ask him to give us some stats and case studies. The audio sound is not amazing, so we have got subtitles. I hope that helps. Neil, how are you, man?
I'm good, thank you, Samuel.
We've now got ready, die-hard property fans that are itching to know whether HMOs work up north. So hopefully you'll be able to enlighten us. I'm going to ask you some questions. You'll be able to share your story. I mean, why don't you just kick off by, where are you currently buying your HMOs right now? I'm
currently buying in Hull, in the northeast.
In Hull, in the northeast. Are you a full-time property investor? Are you just starting? How long has this been going on?
No, I have a full-time job in the corporate world, so my property investing is very much evenings, weekends, and an early morning here and there.
When you bought your first house in Hull, planning on doing it as a HMO, what did people tell you?
Well, it's a very good question. Quite a few people warned me that where I was buying my HMO in particular was oversaturated with existing HMOs.
Okay, interesting. And did that worry you?
And it did. And it did put me off. There were times when I really thought long and hard. There were times, where I was a bit concerned about it. Fortunately, there were also people who are very successful as well. And one of the big lessons here is to be careful who you listen to.
Interesting. So how do you determine who you listen to and who you don't?
Well, I'm always happy to listen to everybody's views, but it's a case of when making my own decisions to really consider which views are most appropriate. So it's a business decision. Am I going to listen to somebody who's never invested in property, or am I going to listen to some investors with significant HMO portfolios? However, one thing that I've learned is that there are several types of HMOs. A lot of the standard of the HMOs is very variable, and having visited a lot of them, what I learned was if there's a HMO with mold and damp, really badly maintained, these were generally the people who were having the voids.
Correct. Yeah. Give me an idea then. So the first HMO that you bought in Hull, I know you've spent money on it to make it look nice, but how much did you buy it for, and how many bedrooms were in the house?
The property has 5 bedrooms. I paid £58,000 and spent £32,000 doing it up. So a grand total of £90,000, which, I have a rough rule of thumb. That's £18,000 per room. Okay,
before you go on with the figures, so you've bought a house, you've spent 90 grand on it, including the refurb, and that's how many bedrooms?
5.
5. That's brilliant. That's excellent. I mean, congratulations finding a deal that good. But people were saying the area's bad, you're not going to rent the rooms out, and all this kind of stuff.
That's right.
How much rent were you hoping to achieve with that property?
Well, I consider myself to be risk adverse, so I use the figure £75 per week per room based on a double without an ensuite. So I know that I can achieve that, and anything else is a bonus. Okay,
now I'm going to ask you the big question now. So you are hoping to get 300 per room, a minimum approximately. That's 3, 6, 9, 12. So you are hoping to get £1,500 rent per month. People said that you wouldn't do it. What are you renting the house out for now?
It's averages, so it's £80 a week per room, which is £1,733 a month.
Boom! Congratulations. I'm really pleased for you. So it's a good job you didn't listen to the naysayers. I mean, that's an astonishing return on investment. I mean, buying a house for 90 grand, including the refurb, and renting out for 17.50 a month. I mean, of course, you've got costs and expenses on that. So Neil, let me ask you a question. What separates, because there's a lot of people that are interested in HMOs, they're enthusiastic, but they just never do it. So, I mean, what would you say would distinguish someone between being a success and not having any success at all? What would you say would be the key factors?
I think a lot of it's actually in the mindset. One of the key aspects is to have a really good supportive environment around you throughout the purchasing process. When buying a property that cheap, it was bound to have a lot of problems, and it did. It wasn't the easiest transaction, and there was more than one occasion where I considered walking away from it. And this week, once seeing it all fully refurbished, seeing it fully let, it was the moment. I'll look back at those moments where I thought about walking away and pulling out, and I'll realise what a great decision it was. And it's that having that supportive environment. So when you do hit hurdles, there's other people to mastermind with to help you out. Because the chances are, if you have a mastermind group, somebody in that group will have had a similar problem or know somebody who had that same problem and would know how to deal with it.
Yeah, brilliant. So have a good mindset, get around good people, be part of a network, a mastermind of people that are cheering you on, bouncing ideas off each other. I think that's absolutely crucial. So so you've done that deal. What other properties have you got going on, or what have you done?
Okay, I've currently got offers accepted on 2 further properties. They will also be 5-bed HMOs. I'm now scaling the business up, working with investors so that I can leverage my skills, experience, and some of my time to work with other investors, work together to scale the business up, expand the portfolio. As I say, two deals already agreed. I'm hoping to exchange on one in a couple of weeks' time, and the other one, it's a bit further behind, maybe about 6 weeks away.
How does it feel to be a professional and successful property investor?
Well, it's this last week was a good week for celebration, as it was the end of the most recent project. So another key learning from over the last year has actually been to celebrate that success. So I've just booked my tickets to Madagascar.
Hey, congrats! That's amazing. You deserve it. Well done. I mean, what are your plans for the future? Because you said you got a full-time job, but you've got all these deals coming through, and you're making £2,000 a month rent off this one property that you bought for £50,000. You've got another couple on the go. What are your plans for the future?
At the moment, it's an expansion phase. Once I get to where I want to be, I'll then go into a consolidation phase. And I have plans. My passion in life is to travel around the world. My number one value is freedom. So it's that freedom to do what I want to do, with no restrictions. Adventure is also up there in the list of values. And it'll be a case of living to those values a lot more. That will allow me to do that.
Mate, you know what? That sounds absolutely wonderful, and you definitely deserve that. The fact that you've taken the step out, you've spent money in education and being part of forums and masterminds. Now it's time to celebrate and have some freedom. So brilliant, congrats. What would you say? A couple more questions before we wrap up. So firstly, Hull is known as a cheap area. It's very far up, north side of the country. I mean, people from London say that I'm from the north because I'm in Birmingham, but Hull really is the north. What would you say to somebody who said, do HMOs work in northern areas like Hull? And someone was asking you for advice. What would you say?
I'd say they do work. You just have to do them the right way. I'm expecting that the HMO regulations, with licensing coming in, I think it's really important that when you get involved in these projects, do that due diligence You know, visit the property, see the property, speak to people who know the area. You know, local knowledge is just so important, because there are parts of Hull where you won't, you know, where a HMO won't work.
Yeah.
And some of those areas they're not far from the areas where it does work. And it's that local knowledge that's so crucial. But yes, it does work. You just have to do it the right way.
Like every strategy to property investing, there's always, you need to know what you're doing. You can't blindly just randomly buy something and hope it works because it's big enough.
Right.
You know, there's boxes to check, market research, rules to consider. So absolutely excellent. So let me ask you a final question. What advice would you give to somebody who was just starting out in property?
Firstly, it would be to understand why you're getting involved in property, and then once you've got clear on that, to understand what you want to achieve and how you're going to do it. It's the planning stage. It's so important, and once you've got clarity, everything else starts to fall into place.
Excellent. Well, listen, it has been amazing talking to you. Congratulations once again with all your successes. Thanks for the information and content you've given to everybody watching on the video. I'm sure everyone will agree it's been absolutely fabulous. And keep in touch.
Thank you very much, Samuel.
See you later. If you want to have a chat with Neil and loads of other investors like Neil that are successfully investing across the UK, and also connect with myself, then why don't you connect to our Facebook community? You can do that by clicking right here, absolutely free. All I ask for in exchange is that you share this video so that others can see what really is possible too. What are you waiting for? Share this video right now. Thank you so much.